including like actual physical that he could have incurred in financial harm. So they get into the first couple pages. Now, a couple things that we learned in this lawsuit within the first like 5 pages that we didn't know. Remember when the shooting happened at Drake's home back in May?
Kendrick Lamar, which everybody seems to think that this lawsuit is about, he didn't sue Kendrick Lamar. He sued UMG, which is the biggest company that has the biggest bag, Nick. You think I ain't gonna sue Amazon if I ain't get a chance to? Me suing everybody.
He was your man, like on the side, like on the side, just he was not a rapper at all.
Right.
So when Ballin' took place, and I'm looking and I'm going, oh, he having a moment. That's the Lloyd Banks. It's Lloyd Banks thing. He wanted that. He was watching them be that, like Mace be that, and Cam be that, and looked at, and it was finally he had one.
Mm-hmm.
And I just looked, and I knew I just took the shot, Murder, to see, because I wasn't sure he was gonna go for it. But I was like, we like Jimmy better than you anyway, Cam.
You know my They got nothing else to think about but Capo. I did a lot for them in their life, you heard? Both of them. Pause though, get off of my dick. There's only space on there for baby girl, man. Come on, man. Tugging on my like that.
The hip hop scene is on fire right now, and at the heart of it all, Jim Jones and Drake taking on the big dogs of the industry, with 50 Cent swooping in to stir the pot like only he can. Jim Jones left everybody stunned when he stepped right into Drake's corner during the rapper's heated legal war with Universal Music Group, framing it as a battle for the rights and respect of every artist out there. But of course, 50 couldn't resist, turning the whole situation into a viral roast that had social media eating it up. He clowned Jim for everything, from his questionable moves to his history with Dipset, and just like that, old beef started bubbling again, dragging Dipset drama right back into the spotlight. Suddenly, we're back to diss tracks, messy public shots, and a storyline straight out of a primetime soap opera. But how did it all snowball into this chaos? Why is Jim riding so hard for Drake? And what's in it for 50 Cent, who seems to be loving every second of reigniting this mess?
A legal perspective, it's an interesting move on Drake's part. Notably, he's not suing Kendrick Lamar, right? He's suing Universal, which reps both of these artists.
We're not even halfway through 2025, and already one of the year's wildest lawsuits is shaking the game. Drake has officially filed suit against UMG, claiming they played a shady role in pushing Kendrick Lamar's brutal diss track, Not Like Us, a track that many fans took as a direct hit at Drake himself. Drake's legal team is coming in heavy, saying the real problem is UMG's involvement, that they didn't just stand by, but actively promoted and profited off a track that, in their view, spread damaging narratives about him. By going after the label, Drake's making a bold move to hold them accountable and put the industry on notice,
including like actual physical that he could have incurred in financial harm. So they get into the first couple pages. Now, a couple things that we learned in this lawsuit within the first like 5 pages that we didn't know. Remember when the shooting happened at Drake's home back in May?
The lawsuit has split the music world down the middle. Some see Drake's move as a risky but powerful stand against the giant labels, a play that could shift power toward the artists and finally give them more control over their own work. Others, though, think it's just adding gasoline to an already blazing fire, and the drama is nowhere near over. But not everyone's cheering Drake on. Critics are calling this a dangerous gamble, one that blurs the line between personal rap beef and full-on courtroom warfare. Drake's legal camp is pushing back hard, saying this isn't about petty back and forths on tracks. This is about his name, his legacy, and setting a powerful example for every artist in the game. This lawsuit is about accountability, they insist, refusing to let the narrative get twisted. One insider close to Drake's circle spilled, Drake isn't just fighting for himself, he's standing up for artists everywhere. Still, when news broke that Drake was suing one of the most powerful record labels on the planet, jaws hit the floor. This wasn't just bold, it was risky on a whole other level. And the pushback came fast. After reading UMG's fiery response, DJ Academics even warned Drake to tread carefully, reminding everyone how UMG has a reputation for humbling even the biggest names in the game. He claimed they've got the connections to call the judge and get this whole thing tossed before it even heats up.
That's very interesting, and that's going to be very operative, not only in them trying to get this dismissed, but also in the federal case subsequent. Why? Because Drake is filed for defamation. Universal's kind of playing, it's a pre-card for everything. Because now, once music gets to a certain level,
and very well said. Like everything Universal give me is up in its stuff. Yeah. It's not, yo, let's amicably see if let's have a mediator.
As expected, the hip-hop world split into camps overnight. And surprise, surprise, not everyone had Drake's back. Joe Budden, never one to bite his tongue, has been one of the loudest critics. On his podcast, he went straight at Drake, accusing him of playing both the aggressor and the victim, a move he straight up compared to being Karen-like. Budden didn't stop there. He sounded genuinely disappointed in where the culture's headed. He said diss tracks used to be all about wit, creativity, and verbal skill. Now they're turning into courtroom exhibits.
It's nasty, man. He, like we said, he dropped the petition and has now filed the defamation and harassment suit.
But the interesting thing in there was UMG's position, which is
his words hit a nerve, sparking fresh debates over whether Drake's lawsuit is killing the spirit of rap battles or rewriting the rules for a more business-minded future. Right now, one thing's for sure. The divide is real and it's only getting deeper. Right now, the rap world splits straight down the middle. Tradition versus innovation. On one side, you've got voices like Joe Budden crying that hip-hop's gritty, authentic roots are being chipped away. On the other, you've got supporters like Jim Jones who see Drake's lawsuit as more than drama. They see it as a game-changing strike at the music industry's power structure.
Kendrick Lamar, which everybody seems to think that this lawsuit is about, he didn't sue Kendrick Lamar. He sued UMG, which is the biggest company that has the biggest bag, Nick. You think I ain't gonna sue Amazon if I ain't get a chance to? Me suing everybody.
And Jim didn't just quietly agree, he stepped all the way forward. On the Broken Front End podcast, Jim made it crystal clear this lawsuit isn't aimed at Kendrick Lamar like some people assumed, it's locked in on UMG. He defended Drake hard, stressing that the move has huge implications beyond just one feud.
Tracy Morgan just caught that bag. We was happy for him, right?
Of course, it was a car accident.
So how we not gonna be happy about somebody who get a bag from one of the biggest companies that been raping everybody anyway?
Jim even drew parallels between Drake's boldness and past legal wins from other big-name celebs, the kind that shook entire industries. He brought up Tracy Morgan's massive settlement with Walmart, saying Drake's move is cut from the same cloth. It's not about rap beef, Jim declared. It's about business empowerment.
On if I ain't get a chance to, me suing everybody. Any one of them companies I get a chance to playing at that level to sue for billions, I'm going for it. Are you crazy?
And he didn't stop there. Jim clapped right back at critics who accused him of chasing clout, shutting it down by pointing out that challenging industry giants isn't just important, it's necessary. He doubled down, saying this is the kind of action that forces real change. On that same podcast, Jim called Drake's lawsuit James Bond-level boldness, a slick but fearless strike against corporate titans. He laid it out plain, if Drake wins, it could open doors for countless artists to finally get more control over their own work. And while some people are quick to write these moves off as personal grudges, Jim warned that the ripple effects could change the industry for years to come. His words hit home, especially for up-and-coming artists who feel locked out of an industry ruled by corporate heavyweights. But Jim wasn't done throwing shots. He took aim at Universal itself, accusing them of dragging their feet and dodging accountability by stalling their responses to Drake's legal fire. Social media lit up the second Jim Jones went public with his support for Drake. Fans praised him for standing up for artists, but not everybody was feeling it. Some folks saw it as loyalty, others saw it as pure clout chasing. But Jim wasn't about to let the haters talk unchecked. He clapped back hard, saying, if I get the chance to sue a company like Amazon or Universal for billions, I'm taking it. That one line made it clear exactly where he stands when it comes to taking on corporate giants. The clash of opinions only cranked the tension higher, turning Drake's lawsuit into a full-blown lightning rod for debate across the industry. Jim doubled down, calling out corporate exploitation head-on and refusing to back down an inch. Of course, that's when 50 Cent saw his opening, and we all know 50 doesn't pass up a chance to stir the pot. The moment Jim threw his public support behind Drake, 50 pounced. He hopped on Instagram and dropped a viral roast aimed straight at Jim, accusing him of sticking his nose into business that, in 50's own words, had nothing to do with him. The post was dripping with 50's trademark sarcasm and wit, and it exploded across social media in minutes. Suddenly, we weren't just watching a Drake versus UMG legal fight, the old 50 versus Jim Jones feud was back from the dead, and it was hotter than ever. Things really boiled over when Jim showed up on the premiere episode of Justin LaBoy's Respectfully Justin show, where he addressed the shots both 50 Cent and Cameron had taken at him. Jim came in swinging, laughing off their comments and saying they were on his D, even adding that he'd done plenty for them over the years.
They got nothing else to think about but Capo. I did a lot for them life, you heard? Both of them. Pause though, get off my dirt. There's only space on there for baby girl, man. Come on, man. Tugging on my like that.
50 wasted no time firing back. On Instagram, he went for the jugular, digging up 2019 court transcripts tied to the high-profile trial involving 6ix9ine. In classic troll mode, 50 accused Jim of being Individual One, a reference to federal informant rumors that had swirled around that time. That nickname has now become one of 50's go-to punchlines whenever their beef reignites. And if that wasn't enough, 50 slapped on a savage caption. I know you working, so please don't say gangster shit to me, Individual One. It was pure 50 Cent, calculated, mocking, and impossible to ignore. 50 Cent wasn't satisfied with just one hit. He came back swinging with a follow-up post that set the internet on fire. This time, he dropped documents claiming to reveal a wiretap conversation involving Jim Jones, where Jim is allegedly heard talking about the three-way crew and Tekashi 6ix9ine. In his post, 50 didn't hold back. He flat out claimed that Jim was the only member of the three-way crew who managed to avoid arrest, hinting that maybe, just maybe, Jim had ties to law enforcement. According to 50's version of events, the leaked conversation had Jim speaking on 6ix9ine, the same 6ix9ine who famously got wrapped up in a massive federal racketeering case and ended up cooperating with authorities. 50 made it clear that Jim's lack of legal trouble in that stormy chapter raises serious questions and suggested it could mean he was quietly working behind the scenes with the feds. But 50's roasting spree didn't stop there. He pivoted back to the present, saying Jim needed to worry less about Drake's lawsuit and more about patching things up with Cameron, dragging old Dipset drama right back into the spotlight. That shot instantly reignited years of buried tension inside the hip-hop world, especially between Jim and his former Dipset brothers. And Cameron, he wasn't about to let that pass. On a no-holds-barred episode of his talk show, It Is What It Is, Cam went straight at Jim, revisiting their long and messy history. He unpacked old wounds, calling out moments that still sting, and at the center of it all was what Cam saw as betrayal. He pointed directly to Jim siding with 50 Cent back in the mid-2000s during the infamous Dipset versus G-Unit feud, framing it as the breaking point in their friendship. Cam didn't hold back. He told viewers this fracture had never truly healed. And then just to twist the knife a little deeper, he questioned Jim's Harlem roots entirely, claiming Jim wasn't really part of the community like he portrays.
What the f is you talking about, man? You are from the Bronx, bro. You are not from Harlem. Why do you keep thinking that you are from Harlem, bro? You are not from Harlem. I did not grow up with you, man. I did not grow up with you. Contrary to what you believe.
The episode made it clear, whatever's between Cam and Jim isn't just old rap beef. It's a wound that still bleeds. Cameron didn't just question Jim Jones's loyalty. He went for his whole image. He mocked Jim's claims of repping Harlem, calling him a guardian angel and designer, and flat out saying, "You from the Bronx, bro, not Harlem." That shot alone had the internet buzzing. But Cam wasn't done. He clowned Jim's entry into Dipset, painting him as a starstruck fan desperate to be part of the crew. According to Cam, Jim had heard their freestyles, invited them over to his crib, and from there just latched on. Or not out of mutual respect, but straight fandom. It was a jab meant to hit deep, and it definitely added more fuel to their already raging fire. Cam then dug into the archives and brought up an alleged moment of cowardice, a run-in with the Black Mafia family, BMF. He asked point blank if Jim had ever talked about when he ran the day BMF rolled up. Cam claimed Jim bolted for safety, even running into the ocean to get away.
Do you ever hear me talk about when you ran on me when BMF pulled up? When you ran in the hotel, they chased you to the beach. And lucky, you went and got a couple niggas, and I know these niggas, they my niggas too. You tell them you got a problem, they jump in the car, they don't know who you got a problem with.
It was a humiliating image to paint for someone with a tough guy rep. Backing Cam's story was none other than Dame Dash, who jumped in to say he'd personally seen disrespect from Jim firsthand. Dame claimed that at his art gallery, Jim tried to physically get in front of his woman, and that the move blew his mind in terms of how far out of line it was. Cam tried to play it off like he doesn't usually air these kinds of stories to avoid degrading Jim's character, but the way he told it left no doubt. There's deep resentment boiling under the surface. The episode gave fans a crystal clear reminder Dipset's legacy might be legendary, but it's laced with tension, ego, and old grudges. And this latest round isn't happening in isolation.
20 years ago, however many years ago, I thought it was all good. I had no problem thinking, okay, he tricked niggas out their spot, came to the spot. I know 50
Cam and Jim have been at odds for years, with 50 Cent's little jab about fixing Dipset only adding gasoline to the blaze. Cam has never been shy about calling Jim out, accusing him of betrayal for siding with 50 back in the mid-2000s during the infamous Dipset versus G-Unit war. Their history is a roller coaster, brief public makeups followed by private fallouts, with Cam constantly questioning Jim's leadership, loyalty, and decision-making inside the Dipset camp. Jim Jones hasn't been sitting quietly while Cam throws shots. He's firing right back, accusing Cam's ego of holding Dipset back from real progress. Jim claims Cam's pettiness has cost the group big opportunities, and he's not afraid to say it.
Lacey, 12 years. His godson, that was 13 years old, 8 years. Shotty, he was trying to be 12.
Cam, of course, didn't let that slide, clapping back with more digs about Jim's Harlem credentials, keeping the feud alive and ugly. Fans, meanwhile, are worn out from the nonstop back and forth. All they want is a real Dipset reunion, but right now that dream feels farther away than ever. Juelz Santana even stepped in, but not to take sides. He compared the mess to a full-on family feud and admitted he can't mediate between the two, leaving Dipset's future hanging by a single frayed thread.
Well, the Cam and 50, the Cam and 50 beef was like a public display. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was from the radio, Hot 97. You know what I'm saying? 50 went up there and said some things, you know what I'm saying, about Cosby.
Juelz has tried to keep things neutral, saying the whole situation is just disappointing, especially after everything they've accomplished together. He's made it clear he values the brotherhood they built, but he's not playing middleman, and that's left fans wondering if anyone can actually bridge this gap. His words hit a nerve with the fan base, a mix of nostalgia for Dipset's glory days and frustration at watching the crew spiral deeper into drama instead of pushing forward. And Jim? He's definitely not letting 50 Cent's trolling go unanswered. Word is, he's been locked in the studio, cooking up diss tracks aimed at both Cam and 50. It's a bold move that could either reignite Dipset in the worst way or blow the rift wide open. This all comes after Jim threw direct shots telling Cam and 50 to get off his D. The comment came during his recent appearance on Justin LeBoy's Respectfully podcast, where he was asked about 50's trolling and his appearance on Cam's own talk segment, Talk with Flea. Jim's tone made one thing crystal clear. He's not bowing out of this war anytime soon. If those diss tracks actually drop, they could spark a throwback old school rap battle energy, the kind that takes fans right back to the days when the music itself was the battlefield, not just Instagram posts and shady captions. It would be a reminder of when beef got settled on wax, not in comment sections. But Jim's next move hints he's thinking way bigger than just lyrical warfare. Word is, he's been quietly lining up a fresh merch campaign tied to Dipset's legacy, a slick play that shows he's ready to turn all this attention into dollars. This isn't just about dissing Cam and 50, it's about keeping Dipset's brand alive, cashing in on nostalgia, and reminding everybody that the logo still holds weight in the streets and beyond. Just when it looked like the drama couldn't get any messier, new whispers started spreading. And they've got the whole rap game watching. According to industry insiders, 50 Cent might be lining up a surprise collaboration with none other than Kendrick Lamar, the same Kendrick whose diss track helped spark Drake's lawsuit in the first place. If true, it's the kind of chess move that would turn this already wild feud into a full-on war. The rumor mill claims 50's been in the studio with top producers, cooking something that could reignite the beef from a whole new angle. And if Kendrick's involved, that would send a clear message. He's not just standing by while Drake fights UMG, he's doubling down on the heat. Fans are already speculating that whatever track comes out of this could be laced with subliminals aimed at both Drake and Jim Jones. Meanwhile, Jim's been spotted moving heavy in New York, allegedly meeting with promoters and business execs about a potential Dipset anniversary tour. But here's the catch. Word is, Cameron hasn't been approached, at least not yet. That little detail alone has fans wondering if Jim's planning to roll out a Dipset-branded tour without the full original lineup. If that's the case, it could split the fan base even more and make a reunion damn near impossible. And while all this is playing out in the public eye, the social media jabs haven't slowed down one bit. 50 keeps posting cryptic captions with old throwback pics of Dipset, tagging Individual One just to twist the knife. Jim, on the other hand, has been reposting fan clips hyping him up, making it clear he's feeding off the energy, good or bad. This next chapter feels like it's heading toward a breaking point. Between the whispered collabs, possible diss tracks, and behind-the-scenes business moves, everyone's bracing for the next big blow. One thing's for sure, in 2025, this isn't just a feud anymore. It's a chess match for legacy, power, and the last word. Jim Jones's decision to back Drake hasn't just lit up the headlines, it's cracked open old wounds and poured gasoline on fresh beef. What started as one man taking a stand against a music giant has turned into a full-blown storm, with 50 Cent gleefully tossing in his signature chaos and Dipset's inner tension bubbling hotter than ever. The question now is bigger than just Drake's lawsuit. It's about loyalty, legacy, and whether the cracks inside Dipset can ever be fixed. Will Jim's bold stand prove to be the power move that forces the industry to rethink its game, or will it be the decision that cements the group's split for good? Right now, the future of Dipset is hanging in the balance. The lines have been drawn, the shots have been fired, and the eyes of the entire hip-hop world are locked in to see what happens next. And that's where you come in. We want to hear it straight from you. Do you think Jim was right to stand shoulder to shoulder with Drake in this battle, or was this a step too far that's only going to make the divide permanent? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's see where you stand on this wild ride. And if you've been vibing with this deep dive, don't just click away. Make sure to hit that like button, share this with your people, and subscribe so you never miss a beat when the next chapter drops. Trust me, you're gonna want to be here for it, because in our very next video, we're diving straight into 50 Cent's latest industry plays, the ones that are shaking the power structure from the inside out. You'll see exactly how he's lining up his next moves, who might be caught in the crossfire, and why this could change the game in 2025. So go ahead, tap that next video you see on your screen for even more celebrity drama, wild receipts, and the kind of stories they don't want you to hear. See you there.